All right, well, welcome into KCTV 5 Plus here this morning. It's Bill Hurlbrink alongside Janae Hancock. We want to begin with some breaking news. This affects your safety here this morning. There's a dangerous pipeline leak up in Leavenworth County, forcing families to flee their homes and shut down K-16 highway last night. And this is what you need to know. So Enterprise Products Partners discovered a major leak around 7:10 last night on their pipeline just to the east of McLouth, Kansas. Now, if you were driving in that area last night, you could have actually been in some serious danger. Residents were smelling gas, called 911. Cars actually stalled out when drivers hit a toxic vapor cloud along one of the roads there just east of McLouth last night. There wasn't enough oxygen to keep their motors running. So listen to this. You cannot use K-16 right now to the east of McLouth. The highway is completely closed from McLouth to Donahue Road. Officials evacuated nearby homes because this gas is explosive.
And I do want to go back to our website, kctv5.com, with what is happening at this hour. You can see 20-foot flames burning off of the dangerous gas. Those flames will be burning for 2 full days. That's what we're being told. If you know anyone who was evacuated, the Red Cross is helping families with emergency shelter and food right now.
And we have spoken to the emergency director up there. The earliest people may be able to return to their homes is 3 o'clock this afternoon, but that's only if the air tests prove that it's safe to be in the area. Now, we are tracking this story. We're having a crew head up that way here shortly, and we'll update you the moment we learn about what caused this dangerous leak and if there's continued danger to the residents up there again near McLouth, Kansas, just east of McLouth, north of Tonganoxie along K-16.
All right. And again, be sure to download the KCTV5 News app so that you can have breaking news updates come to your smart device as they make their way into the KCTV5 newsroom. But again, thank you so much for joining us here on KCTV5 Plus on this Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Bill, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah?
It was a great Thanksgiving day yesterday, and the Hurlbrink family getting to see the relatives, the family. I think I did pretty good when it came to eating halfway healthy. It was a lot of turkey, so I figured some protein, but you can't have a Thanksgiving dinner without mashed potatoes. So it was the mashed potatoes.
And dessert.
And I had 2 helpings of dessert, so maybe scratch that what I said about eating healthy. But
you're not supposed to. It's okay.
I
There's no judgment here.
Didn't eat dinner, so I figured that was okay.
There is no judgment. Well, speaking of the holidays and Thanksgiving, we do want to turn now to a live look over the Country Club Plaza this morning that now shines bright at night and in the early morning if you happen to wake up as early as we do. We have more on last night's lighting ceremony in just a moment.
Well, the holiday shopping season officially kicks off today with Black Friday deals, and thousands of shoppers are expected to pack the stores to take advantage, including right here in Kansas City. So KCTV5's Gabby Luma joining us from the Legends Outlets this morning, where shoppers are eagerly awaiting a day full of shopping.
I'm KCTV5's Gabby Luma. We're here at the Legends Outlets where hundreds of people are already inside shopping, taking advantage of those Black Friday deals. Now, of course, there are plenty of deals inside, but we have to make sure that you're following some safety tips outside as well. Many people driving up here, parking in the parking lot. Make sure to not leave all of your shopping bags in your car. Sometimes if you need to take a trip home, leave those shopping bags at home and then come back. I know it's a hassle, but it'll help keep you and your car as well as those gifts safe. Make sure to park in a well-lit area and just be aware of your surroundings. It can kind of get crazy with the holiday shopping frenzy out here. Stay safe, happy holidays, and happy shopping, everyone.
Again, that was KCTV5's Gabby Luma reporting. And following last night's loss to the Dallas Cowboys, the Chiefs will need serious effort from QB1 to stay in contention. Post-game, number 15 was blunt about what it's going to take for the Chiefs to make the postseason.
All right, so what is it going to take for the Chiefs to make the postseason run? So this is a look at the current standings. Now, the Chiefs sit above Baltimore at 9th in the conference, but to make it harder, the Broncos, Colts, Jags, Bills, and Chargers, well, they all beat the Chiefs, and they all sit ahead of them.
But here is the good news today. The Chiefs get the Texans and the Chargers in back-to-back weeks. Winning those games could drastically shift the playoff picture right now. They'll finish out the season against the Titans in a marquee matchup against the Denver Broncos at Arrowhead Stadium. That's on Christmas Day. And finally, the Raiders.
Now, the bad news for the playoff push, another injury hits Patrick Mahomes' protectors. NFL insider Ian Rappaport says Chiefs offensive lineman Josh Simmons dislocated and fractured his wrist, and that injury would leave Simmons out indefinitely. Rappaport says the lineman was seen wearing a cast as he left the stadium yesterday. Now, if he does go on injured reserve, he wouldn't be available again until Week 18. Now, again, Simmons left yesterday's game in the third quarter after that injury. The O-lineman just returned to the team earlier this month following an absence for a personal matter.
The plaza will sparkle every single night for the next few months after last night's holiday lights ceremony. The annual tradition drew crowds of families ready to kick off the holiday season. KCTV5's Betsy Webster captured the magical moment when thousands of lights lit up the night.
Well, this gorgeous sight, these classy lights are the same as always, as they should be, because, well, tradition. But earlier, one thing was noticeably different. The block was packed once things got underway, but it took a little longer to get here than usual.
I was Googling things and I was like, well, usually this whole street's full of people, so we better get in there soon.
But it wasn't, because Santa came an hour late this year.
Okay, we thought it started a little later this year. It was like 7:50,
Do you know why?
No, why?
Because of what Grandma walked away from.
I didn't know it's starting later.
We didn't know that. We just came too early.
The people were on the plaza, just inside.
I told her, I think they always turn the lights on at 7, but
7:55, do you know why?
I don't know why.
because of the Chiefs game. Yep.
Ding, 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 ding. Speaking of, even the Salvation Army bell ringer was a little distracted.
Usually we play some sort of Christmas music or stuff, but anything to bring attention to the kettles this year.
Stopped for a peek at the game, dropped something into the kettle. But little do they know. I thought you were watching the Chiefs game.
I am.
You're watching the Cowboys game.
I'm watching the Cowboys game. Yeah, I am.
Shame on you.
No, I've tried to keep it quiet all night, but I am definitely a Cowboys fan.
We figured the Chiefs game wasn't going too great at the moment, so let's get out of the house and go look at the lights.
And this is something you can be sure of. Family may not bring fireworks, and the Chiefs might not always bring a win. But moments like this, together, mean more than any game. What matters most?
Definitely family. Aww. It's just because football doesn't last forever. Love lasts more than football.
Such wise words from a child. And now, may the most wonderful time of the year begin. In Kansas City, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Love lasts more than football.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will include that in their vows. What do you think?
Or another song.
All right. Well, Kansas City's holiday traditions will continue on tonight with the lighting of the mayor's Christmas tree. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas is going to light the tree at 6 o'clock tonight down in Crown Center. Now, this year's tree towers over 100 feet tall. If you missed out on ornaments from last year's tree, well, don't worry, you're in luck. They go on sale today with proceeds benefiting several local charities.
Crown Center is transforming into a real-life Hallmark movie set this weekend. The Hallmark Christmas experience kicks off today with free activities, holiday shopping, and nightly tree lightings. Plus, Hallmark stars will be filming a Christmas special throughout the weekend as well. The festivities run through December 21st, with most events completely free.
And a hop, skip, and a jump just across the street. You can go over to Union Station and catch the CPKC holiday train as it rolls into town there. That's also at 6 o'clock tonight. It's a free concert featuring Smash Mouth. The festive train brings music and holiday cheer while collecting food donations for harvesters. So if you're planning out to head to that event, make sure you bring some canned goods to help local families this holiday season.
And if you are enjoying your leftovers today, no judgment, but we do need you to listen up. Doctors want you to be extra careful about food safety. Health experts say the biggest mistake people make is leaving food out just way too long.
we leave it out on the counter and that temperature drops below a threshold where bacteria can start to not only grow but produce toxins in the food. And then as we store that food away, if we don't store it either efficiently and quickly enough, or we store it too long and reheat it not at an appropriate temperature, those bacteria can make us sick.
You can reheat leftovers in the microwave or even the oven, but the USDA says if you use the microwave, check the temperature of the food in several different places.
Speaking of leftovers, got to shout out Kenny Price, who just brought in a big plate of cupcakes and desserts.
Ooh.
Did they give any food worries about pastries and cookies?
No.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to dive into those then in just a little bit. So let's move to some World Cup news now. We're just 1 week away from the 2026 World Cup draw. FIFA is set to hold that ceremony next Friday at the Kennedy Center in Washington, placing 48 teams into different groups for the group play. However, we're not going to know which teams play here until the match schedule comes out on December the 6th. And I'm anxiously awaiting to see who is going to play these 6 matches that we have at Arrowhead Stadium. Is it going to be an England, a Germany, a France, Brazil, Argentina, Portugal, these big name teams with big name players on them, that fans are going to flock to see. And I'm also still waiting to see if I'm going to be able to buy tickets because I still haven't made the lottery for the last 3 times. But I know a lot of people are also in that same boat as well. But it finally feels like we're at the next step for this World Cup, that we're finally going to find out who's playing here. And then I think you're really going to see stuff really starting to get into motion about how those plans move forward once we finally know who will actually be here in Kansas City.
Isn't it crazy? We've been saying December, and now here it is.
It's here, what, Monday? Is December 1st?
Yeah, December 1st on Monday.
Blows my mind.
And you know what? We are expecting a change in weather.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say the S word. Let's leave that for the first 4 and 5.
Yeah, we're going to leave that to them. And we do have meteorologist Stevie Stevenson coming your way right after the break. But again, I want to direct you to our website, kctv5.com, a story that we are continuing to follow here in the newsroom. A gas pipeline leak leads to home evacuations as well as a highway closure. Again, we do have a crew on the way to the scene to Leavenworth County. We'll continue to bring you updates as they come in. But for now, taking another live look over the Country Club Plaza, meteorologist Stevie Stevenson coming your way after the break.
We have a very impactful weekend ahead as far as the weather is concerned, so I want to dive right into it. These first warns that are in place for Saturday, Sunday, and now Monday, as well as today's drier but still very chilly day as we get into the rest of our holiday weekend. So let's break it all down. First, I want to get you a weekend overview as a whole, because essentially from start to finish, it's going to be an impactful one, especially as we move into your Saturday. So first, on your Friday, it will be a mostly dry day. We're talking the chance for 40% showers as we move late tonight into the very early morning hours of your Saturday. So if we find any late showers today, again, they're looking to fall as rain, but we start to change that narrative as we go into Saturday. That's when we could actually start to transition into more of a wintry mix or even snow in the afternoon and early evening. We have a first warn in place for that, but also for the chance that and likelihood that we are going to find a lot of rain on our Saturday morning. So overall, it's going to be a wet day that we have to deal with. Then on Sunday, we dry things out. We kick the system away to the east, but we get significantly colder as we find a blast of cold air behind this wintry weather maker. That's your weekend as a whole. Again, I mentioned your Friday is dry into the evening hours, and we're also quite chilly right now too. I'll get you a quick check of temperatures before we really dive into data here. 27 in Kansas City right now, but feeling like the teens even still. Now, cloud cover really has not been helping us out, so I want you to know that as we go into the rest of your Black Friday, if you're out shopping, you will still need that jacket. There is no doubt about that, but now I really want to turn over into that weekend forecast so we can start explaining everything that's going on here, because it is a lot and it's a lot to sift through. So again, first warns in place Saturday, Sunday, and on Monday. Now, they're all for different reasons. So Saturday first, we'll have a mainly rainy day, but then chance for some wintry precipitation, maybe even our first snowflakes of the season in the afternoon, then an Arctic blast of air on Sunday. And then we bring in another first warn on Monday for another reason. That's going to be the chance to find some snow showers again. So even if we don't find them on Saturday, we have another chance to find snow on Monday. Of course, that is when we are headed back to work after a long holiday weekend. That looks to, of course, bring impacts if it does come to fruition, which our models are starting to get on track with this. And so we really want to get that message across to you before you head off into the rest of your holiday weekend. So if you take one thing that you remember that could be a slow start to Monday that we'll be tracking for you. And I really encourage you to check in multiple times over the weekend as we continue to shape up this forecast. First, as we go through the rest of your Friday, most of us will stay dry, as I mentioned. Now, I do still think this model's been a bit aggressive with bringing in that large of coverage of snow across northwestern and north central Missouri, but it does also show how we'll start to find rain showers around that same time, 7-8 p.m. in Kansas City, and then that rain chance will grow. That snow potential will grow as well across the northern about third of our viewing area. And then we'll push off even more so to that northeastern corner. That's up towards Bethany and Trenton. So down south, where the temperatures are warmer, we're talking rain in Kansas City throughout this time. We bring in a first warn initially for that. You can see that coverage really growing throughout your Saturday morning. So if you have any Saturday morning plans, not only is it going to be cold, but it's going to be wet. We could even hear some rumbles of thunder out there. That's really what also contributes to that 90% chance of rain that we have on Saturday. It's very clear when we look at the data why that's in place. But all the while, in the meantime, up towards Chillicothe, Bethany, Trenton, even Maryville, that is going to be more like snow showers. So we're talking wintry precipitation up there before we then start to find this transition period in the mid to late afternoon in the Kansas City metro, where we could find a couple hours of some snow showers and some rain and snow mix in there. We're not so much looking at a freezing rain concern for your Saturday. More so it's going to be rain, rain and snow or snow, which is a really good thing. And also, since roads in and around the metro will be warmer, because we really won't have to be below freezing for all that long, this isn't looking to stick. It is looking to stick up towards northwestern and north central Missouri. I'll show you potential snow totals from your Saturday here in just a second. But once we get into your Saturday evening, we're already kicking that system out to the east. So let's hone in on the metro. Daytime, mostly rainy. In the late afternoon is when we could find those few hours of wet snow, rain-snow mix, most of which will melt, some of which may accumulate on the grass. It's looking to melt on the roads though, as I mentioned, that will be a bit warmer. But at this time, models are really trending back on even how much accumulation we'd have on the grass for your Saturday. As we look elsewhere though, it's going to be a different picture because they will have many more hours of that snow in that rain and snow mix. Whereas in Kansas City, we're talking 90% rain through the morning on through lunchtime, and then a few hours of a transition period between rain and wet snow, and then wet snow into the evening. So that's where you can see those blue bars coming in there into the evening hours. Overall, a much lower chance of finding snow, period, when we compare it to the rain that we have in the morning. But overall, our Saturday is still looking to be wet. In terms of rain, we could catch a good ½ inch of rain throughout the morning hours before we try to transition over into that snow potential. But in terms of how much snow we'll find, it's really not much, especially along I-70 and then south of that, where we're not even looking at any potential accumulation there. And the metro could be slightly above that. About 1/4 of an inch is really looking to be the most likely scenario here. Roads will be wet out there, so we're talking minimal issues, especially since that isn't looking to stick on Saturday. Though, if we look just up to the northeast, towards Chillicothe, Bethany, even Polk, couple inches of snow possible up there. So that's where the greater travel concerns and harsher conditions on the roads are going to be, as well as visibility could be lower up there as well. All of that is why they have a winter weather advisory issued for wintry mix and snow and accumulations of about 1 to 3 inches. In Kansas City, that is not the case. You can see how those colors don't extend anywhere close to the loop there. Instead, we're looking to stay little to no accumulation of that snow, and therefore we don't have that weather alert and that winter weather advisory in place in the metro. Though could still have some travel impacts on your Saturday, mostly because those roads look to be wet, but we're also monitoring travel impacts into your Sunday. Sunday also has another first warn, not for snow or not for rain or wintry mix, but because we're looking at much cooler temperatures. And if, of course, our roads can't dry out and they have a lot of rain that is soaked into them because of Saturday morning's rainfall, then that could freeze and become slick. So we're talking about the potential of black ice in the morning on your Sunday. That is also looking to bring impacts out there on the roads and is a portion of why that first warn is in place on Sunday. The other reason why that first warn is in place on Sunday is because it is just going to be downright cold. In the morning, we're talking a low in the teens to around 20 degrees. In the afternoon, though, 27. So what that means is that we will be below freezing essentially the entirety of this time. Also, it's going to be windy, so that's really not going to help us out. Feels like temperatures or those wind chills will be down in the single digits to the teens. You will need to be bundling up to stay safe and comfortable in temperatures that cold. Also, temperatures stay very cold into your Monday. In fact, they are colder than Sunday. So, as we are eyeing the potential to find another little round of a winter weather system, that's what brings this chance for snow into the mix at a 50%. That qualifies us for a first warn. Not only that, but also just because Monday, we're all getting back to work. So if our roads continue to be that cold as we stay below freezing at the air temperature, that could really cause some issues and therefore accumulations by the time Monday snow potential rolls around. That's why Monday has a first warn as well. So we are talking potential impacts to the Monday commute both morning and evening at this time. We will be able to trim down and have a clearer view of that time frame over the next couple days. We're about to start to have high resolution data for Monday, which is going to be incredibly helpful for ironing out all the details with your Monday forecast. But for now, before you go into the weekend and maybe tune out just a bit, know that we're really eyeing Monday as that already looks to bring impacts as we're trying to get back to work, trying to get back to school. So please just check in periodically throughout the weekend. Give you a very early look. Here's that low pressure system that really just tries to bring us some snow showers on Monday. And even if we don't find some snow on Saturday or even just some flurries out there, that could then lead Monday to being the first snow of the season. So I know it's a lot of first words all in a row there, and I know they're all for different reasons. It's a good bit of information to keep track of, but overall, the message here is impactful weekend and then an impactful start to the work week too, because we're eyeing these couple different winter systems to head our way. Not only will they try to bring us the chance for some rain and some wet snow on Saturday, but a cold blast of frigid temperatures on Sunday, and then even more so on your Monday, and we could add in enough moisture to bring back some snow showers to the forecast. So that's what we're looking at here. If we look way ahead into next week, that's when that sunshine will come back out. Temperatures try to return closer to seasonable in the 40s in the afternoons, but we're looking at some cloud cover next week too. So overall, it's a pretty cold Security Bank 7-day forecast from start to finish. We will continue to be monitoring this for you as we go through the entirety of your weekend. So check back in with us, and we are here to keep you safe and informed.
Welcome back into KCTV5 Plus. We now have your national news headlines, starting off with this coming out of Washington, D.C., 2 days after the horrific attack on 2 National Guard members who were on duty there. One of them, 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom, has died from her injuries. She is now being called a hero. The second wounded Guard member, 24-year-old Andrew Wolf, continues to fight for his life in the hospital today. CBS News' Kamal Afzali has more from London.
Firefighters saluted as police escorted the body of Sarah Beckstrom to the medical examiner's office late Thursday. The 20-year-old Guard member died on Thanksgiving, 1 day after she and fellow West Virginia Guardsman Andrew Wolf were shot in an ambush-style attack in the nation's capital.
She's looking down at us right now.
President Trump announced the sad news Thursday while speaking with military officials. The White House says the president later spoke with Beckstrom's parents. Wolf remains in critical condition.
He's in very bad shape. He's fighting for his life.
The FBI says a terrorism investigation is underway on both coasts as authorities comb through evidence to determine why the suspect, identified as 29-year-old Rahmanullah Lakanwal, drove from Washington State to Washington, D.C. with a loaded handgun. Multiple family members of the alleged shooter, his ties to San Diego, as well as overseas, are also being probed.
We will not stop until we interview anyone and everyone associated with the subject, the house, and every piece of his life.
The CIA says the suspected gunman traveled to America in 2021 after the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. He had previously worked with the intelligence agency overseas. A Department of Homeland Security official tells CBS News he was granted asylum earlier this year on humanitarian grounds. The Trump administration says it's now conducting a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of all green cards for every immigrant from what it says are nearly 20 countries of concern, including Afghanistan. Kamal Afzali, CBS News.
And we just received a new update. The charges against the man who authorities say shot the 2 Guard members have now been upgraded to first-degree murder after one of the soldiers died. We'll continue to follow this news coming out of Washington, D.C.
Well, President Donald Trump says he will permanently pause migration from, quote, all third world countries. That was in a long message posted to social media late last night. He also says he will remove anyone who is, quote, not a net asset to the United States or is incapable of loving our country. It's unclear which third world countries Trump is referring to.
The turkey has been carved. The dishes are done, or maybe they're not. We're not judging here. And now it is time for the real main event. Retailers across the country are rolling out their biggest deals of the year today for Black Friday.
But tariffs and inflation, they're adding some complexity to this Black Friday. Experts suggest planning a budget before you hit the stores or the internet. Amy Kiley reports on their advice in the context of the broader economy.
Today is Black Friday, and it could be slower than last year. The National Retail Federation forecasts nearly 187 million people will shop online or in stores between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday. That's fewer than the near record number it reported in 2024. Today's shoppers might have added incentive to look for deals. Some face lower disposable income due to higher food and energy costs.
The places where inflation's hitting us leave very little margin for going out and kind of blowing it on a luxury air fryer.
To help people budget, some experts recommend what's called the 1% rule.
Take 1% of your annual income and make that the ceiling, so the upper bound for the entire season. If you make $70K, that's $700 for everything. So for gifts, travel, food, hosting.
This expert suggests starting with that total and then making a list instead of the other way around. She also says limiting transactions could reduce spending.
The number of swipes or purchases is one of the easiest ways to avoid that quiet buildup of all the micro spending and micro swipes that really blow up even the best laid plans.
Research shows some retailers increase prices before Black Friday. That means not all sales offer true discounts, but
Black Friday and Cyber Monday is definitely the best time to get deals. It's not a scam.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Now, keep in mind, tomorrow is Small Business Saturday. A lot of local mom and pop shops are struggling with higher import and healthcare costs. So if you can get out and spend some money here locally and help some of those small mom and pops, it'll be a good use of your time and money tomorrow.
And Americans waste staggering amounts of food every single year. Refed reports Americans will throw away 320 million pounds of food this Thanksgiving. That weighs $550 million. The nonprofit tracks food waste nationwide. Americans waste 35 million tons of food annually. Half spoils in your kitchen, the rest half-eaten meals. Refed says 31% of all food goes uneaten. So how can you waste less this year? One chef suggests buy less, but more often.
A Colorado state senator died Wednesday in a car crash. Faith Winter was involved in a multi-vehicle crash along an interstate in Arapahoe County. The Democrat was entering her 12th year as a state lawmaker. The 45-year-old leaves behind 2 children.
A new report from the World Health Organization shows global measles elimination remains a distant goal. Deaths from measles dropped 88% around the world from the year 2000 up to last year. The WHO says about 58 million lives were saved in that time, but now that progress is in jeopardy. Vaccine coverage is well below the level needed to stop transmission, and cases are surging right now. A quarter of outbreaks are happening in countries previously declared measles-free, including the U.S. as well as Canada. Canada recently lost its measles elimination status, and there are concerns the U.S. could lose it as well.
Well, December begins next week, and forecasters say it could be a frigid one, now depending on where you live. According to the National Weather Service's Climate Prediction Center, the northern and northeastern parts of the country will experience colder than normal weather. Well, some forecasters say the polar vortex could send cold Arctic air towards the middle of the month. They say it could stretch all the way down the east coast, but forecasters again are not sure on its intensity, and duration is still unclear.
Okay, so I love looking at these videos, but I don't want to be in these situations.
Yeah, not a huge fan of the snow. We all know Kansas City will get snow at some point during the winter. I just hope that it's not the volume of snow we got last year, especially with that first one there after the beginning of the year where we got 11 inches of snow on the ground in that first go-round. But there's going to be snow this weekend. Just hopefully it stays off to the north and the east of us. But to our friends in Iowa, up in Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, those folks are in for quite a punch here with some lake effect snow coming their way here actually right now and through the weekend.
And how ironic that it's all kicking off right at the beginning of the month of December, right ahead of Christmas.
There you go.
Alrighty, so here's a look at what you can expect coming up for your Feel Good Friday.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade again brings magic to the streets of New York City. I'm Bradley Blackburn with what was new in the parade's 99th year.
Okay, welcome back into KCTV5 Plus, and welcome into another edition of Feel Good Friday. Of course, we had to call on Grace Smith again because she just brings the positivity into the newsroom.
Right. She's the cheerleader for our TV station here.
Oh, that is so kind.
And she also just loves being up here with us. So I do have a question for you guys. What would you do with $719 million?
Anything I wanted. No, I don't know.
$719 million. What would you do?
I would probably donate some.
Okay.
That's very sweet of you.
Well, to like a local charity?
Yeah, local charity or my family.
Okay.
And then I would buy like a yacht or something.
So how much are you giving your family?
I don't know.
Well, wait a minute.
100,000.
Do I have to pay taxes on this thing first? So am I only gonna
Yes.
take
So
home
the
like
reason I am
$345
asking
million?
this, that is what is at stake in Saturday's Powerball drawing. The winner gets to choose. Take $333 million in cash immediately or collect the full jackpot over 3 decades. So that's how it all works out. Since no one matched Wednesday's numbers, this life-changing fortune is waiting for someone. Could it be you?
You got to take the cash up front, right? Nobody's going to take the disbursement over 40 years or whatever it is, right?
No.
I don't
What
know.
if something happens to you?
Yeah. Do you used to get to will that to your
Yeah,
kids?
3 decades. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so we know what you guys would do with your money. What else is going on, Bill?
Okay, another Thanksgiving is in the books. Now, if you watched the Macy's parade, you were part of something truly special. Millions witnessed the 99th annual tradition with 34 massive balloons, a spectacular success. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
Tom Turkey kicked off the 99th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, leading the way for Dora the Explorer and thousands of performers from around the nation.
It's amazing. It's a once-in-a-life opportunity for sure. Everything's a lot bigger than I think I anticipated.
Balloons like Pac-Man and Mario debuted this year, delighting millions of spectators of all ages along the route.
It's the best event in New York City.
Jeffrey Hart and his family have been taking part in the tradition for decades.
It's cool. Something I grew up doing as a kid to then get to share with her is pretty cool.
Laura Peterson joined the cornucopia clowns for the first time.
There's a whole bunch of us, a mixture of long-timers and first-timers.
And before the celebration even started today, planning is already underway for next year's big 100th parade.
It's going to be a celebration of 100 parades, and it's also going to be an opportunity for us to look forward.
Members of the NYPD were on hand keeping a watchful eye on the events from the skies and on the ground, and even online.
From an intelligence perspective, you are scrubbing social media. You are looking through all the different people that you consider to be threat actors.
Stranger Things, Pop Mart's popular Labubu characters, and the tiniest entry from Goldfish helped keep the mood festive on Turkey Day.
I am most thankful for my family and health.
Santa Claus added to the magic of the celebration, kicking off the Christmas holiday season. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
So I know I watched the parade yesterday. Grace also watched it. Bill, did you watch it?
We did catch some of it. I had it pulled up over my desk there as I was doing a couple other things. But yeah, I love the parade. It's so much fun. I love the marching bands. I did marching band as a high school student, even into college.
Yeah.
And love all the Broadway shows that come out and put on like the little mini skits or whatever in front of Macy's. It was super fun.
Grace,
I
what did
wish
you?
The weather was better.
I know. What did you enjoy, Grace?
I always love the Rockettes.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
a huge Rockettes fan.
Yeah.
I always have since I was a little girl. I'm not a dancer by any means.
Yeah, I was going to say,
but
get up and show us something.
No, you do not.
You want to do the kick line here? That's how we can close the stream today.
I was a cheerleader, but no, not a dancer.
No, and they're celebrating a milestone this year.
Oh, yeah,
What,
it's
100
like
years?
or something.
Yeah.
And
so.
the Rockettes started here in Missouri, in St. Louis, as a matter of fact.
They did?
Okay, so favorite float from yesterday. Grace, you were able to watch it from home, so.
I didn't really watch all of it because I had to come into work. But what's my favorite? I liked the goldfish.
Oh, the little small
Oh,
one?
I did
Small
see
one.
that.
It's the
Yeah.
smallest one.
I heard that one was the smallest.
Yeah.
This was my favorite right here. It's always the end when Santa Claus comes out because Christmas is my favorite time of year. So I love the fact that kicking off the holiday season officially.
Yeah.
Okay, so also speaking of yesterday, while we were getting ready for the Chiefs game, which unfortunately didn't end the best, 2 Vermont families were gearing up for their own incredible tradition. And trust me, you've never seen anything like this Thanksgiving showdown. Cam Smith has more on this story.
We'll kick off.
Okay, what a great idea.
Yeah, we'll kick off. We get the ball last then.
Every Thanksgiving for the last 6 decades and counting, the Finnegans and Mahoneys take to the gridiron.
Gotcha.
Ready, go!
We don't really keep track of the victories, except for the year that you win.
Michael Mahoney has been there since the start. He says with the families, it's grown since the 1950s.
You just see this happen. You watch the kids grow up, and it's fun to be able to sort of taunt each other across the field, you know.
Now you play football. We did that just for the cameras.
This tradition spans generations. Joseph Finnegan says this year was a back and forth battle.
3/4 of the plays were picks coming back. So, I mean, there was a lot of defense.
As both teams duked it out, the Mahoney family called in reinforcements. Well, kind of.
What's this side?
That's me, a Smith, throwing it to the wrong team.
16-0. Yeah, the good guys are ahead. The good guys are ahead.
The Finnegans came out on top, but both families say it's not really about winning, but keeping the tradition going and creating memories that will last a lifetime.
Some of the players don't even know who they are, but some of them have been back for years, playing for many years, and it's just, you know, it's part of their Thanksgiving. So it really is a joy.
So just knowing I show up here every Thanksgiving and there's family, there's another family that's committed to this, it just means a lot.
Reporting in Burlington. Cam Smith, Channel 3 News.
Now, before we go to the next story, I did want to say that kind of reminds me of Nate Bucatey's house here in Kansas City. He does the same thing with the Chiefs logo in the field and everything, and they have an annual football game here as well. So how fun, though, is that? I mean, a lot of folks I know go out and play football. It was a little chilly yesterday here in Kansas City to do it, but I know there's some folks still out there having a good time. All right, let's get to that next one because that looked really good. I don't have smell-o-vision, but I can smell exactly what this smells like. It might make you a little hungry, too. So Friday, November 28th, is National French Toast Day. The thick, sweet, and savory dish is a staple at the American breakfast table. Now listen to this theory. Historians believe that chefs use the term French just to inflate the price. Can you believe that?
And it does it for me. I love French toast.
I love French toast because it's always the perfect snow day breakfast, because you know whenever there's snow forecasted, people run out and they buy milk, eggs, and bread. Well, what are the ingredients for French toast? Milk, eggs, and bread. And you already got syrup in your pantry, and you probably got some powdered sugar at home too if you wanted to get fancy with it.
Grace, what are you? Pancakes, waffles, French toast? What are you?
Definitely waffles.
Waffles?
Yeah.
So you're not reaching for the French toast today.
I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not really a picky eater, so I like it, but definitely waffles for me.
If you serve her breakfast, she will eat it.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's going to eat it regardless. Okay, well, go out and grab you some French toast. That'll do it for our Feel Good Friday. Grace, thank you so much for joining. What can we expect from you today since we have you here? What are you reporting on?
Yes, well, we talked to a young gentleman this week who gave his wish away. So more on that, Make-A-Wish, very touching
Oh, wow, he got to make a wish and he gave it away to somebody? Oh, how neat.
So more on that. Stay tuned tonight at 10.
Okay, there it is.
Deep tease, I love it.
Alrighty, we're going to take a quick break, but first, here's your Hollywood Minute.
And 30 seconds later, that man is lying dead.
Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, just opened in limited release and hits Netflix December 12th. So writer-director Rian Johnson is working on his next film. He tells Empire magazine it harkens back to 70s paranoid thrillers with a light sci-fi element. Glenn Close from Wake Up Dead Man says she'd love to work with him on it.
The thing he's working now is not a Knives Out movie. It's a movie that he's had in his head for a very long time. I mean, it would be, wow, dream come true.
It's people coming together to celebrate his life and his contribution to the entire world.
You Got Gold, a celebration of John Prine, brings the 2022 All-Star Gathering at Nashville's iconic Ryman Auditorium to the big screen. Artists gathered to share stories about the legendary songwriter and perform his music. Check YouGotGoldMovie.com for locations and showtimes. And it's a milestone weekend for two Hollywood stars. Four-time Oscar nominee Ed Harris turns 75, and actor, writer, and director Ben Stiller turns 60. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A 30-second.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the KCTV5 Plus streaming desk. I'm Katie Bird. You guys, it's hard to believe that November is already coming to a close. Today, I'm walking you through all of November's special projects right here at KCTV. Starting out, what if I told you you could hop on a flight right here in Kansas City, take an extra long nap, and wake up in Europe? It's a dream that many people right here in the metro have. It's one that city leaders are pushing to one day become a reality. Taking it over now to KCTV5's Lauren Magarino with this special feature in Kansas City's push for transatlantic flights. Take a listen in.
For a place all about being on the move, Kansas City International Airport faces a grounding challenge.
I'd like to go to France.
Probably Paris would be a good one.
A nonstop flight anywhere in Europe, I would take the chance and go.
Its newly minted terminal, equipped with an international arrivals facility, does not have direct flights to anywhere across the Atlantic. Even as the countdown to host the World Cup ticks and the list of mid-sized cities landing deals for nonstop flights to Europe grows, including our neighbor to the east, St. Louis, announcing a nonstop flight to London starting in 2026, adding to its service to Frankfurt.
Come to KC for the cup, but come to St. Louis for the fun, which probably is not the message they're using on the other side of the state.
St. Louis Lambert International Airport saying the deal creates a runway for potentially $50 to $100 million a year in the St. Louis metro.
I want people to know that we are going places, and now we have a big European company recognizing that.
Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas telling KCTV5 not having direct flights across the pond.
I think it's a shortcoming for Kansas City. It's a disappointment for me as a mayor of Kansas City.
Going as far to say on social media he's jealous. And many of you to ask, why not Kansas City?
We should be in the conversation. We just haven't been able to close the deal yet.
Justin Meyer is deputy director with the Kansas City Aviation Department, the team courting airline carriers to offer flights out of KCI's gates. And he says the first step starts with demand. Right now, an average of 350 people a day start their trip over the Atlantic here in Kansas City. In St. Louis, that number is 375. But to me, that's not really a big difference. So why does that matter when it comes to landing deals with these carriers?
There's a much more significant business market, a higher GDP on the east side of the state. So the propensity to buy business class tickets is significantly higher.
7 Fortune 500 companies are headquartered in St. Louis, with several having business ties in London.
And it's going to take that kind of travel support, that kind of corporate support to make an airline that chooses to make the long-haul investment in Kansas City profitable.
Kansas City is home to one Fortune 500 company, Seaboard Corp. While the metro has recently attracted Google, Panasonic, and Pfizer, it's unclear if the business of data centers and battery plants will help fill transatlantic flights. Now, if you're wondering, does a brand new terminal help at all? Well, Meyer tells us the building does not create demand, but there are ways to sweeten the deal if demand for first and business class seats are up in the air.
We can waive landing fees and operating costs, gate leases, and things like that for up to 2 years for a prospective air carrier.
But what the KC Aviation Department can offer is just a start. State initiatives could help. So far, Missouri lawmakers have allocated $5 million in COVID-era funds to attract transatlantic flights.
And we actually were able to take that forward to a carrier, but the total wasn't enough.
Not enough to compete.
Yeah.
I am disappointed that a Missouri incentive that exists could work for KCI is one we have not been able to take advantage of yet.
Mayor Lucas saying he's turned to Kansas to add to the proverbial pot.
In the years past, I've also asked and been interested in seeing if Kansas could match that incentive.
And yet, no dice. But there is another lever to pull.
There is a story to be told from our business community.
When the Kansas City Area Development Council and Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce contributed an undisclosed amount of corporate incentives for 1 year.
It is making sure that there are guarantees in some ways. That's where the incentive comes in, that those flights, even if you're not filling them up, the airline's making money out of it.
The package helped close the deal with Iceland Air. Flights took off in 2018.
It did not last very long. Some of that relates to pandemic, timing, and frankly that the flight wasn't getting you necessarily where you needed to be.
Flights ran for only 2 summers. Other airline carriers took note and seemingly have not forgotten.
And that's one of the things that's hindering our opportunity to grow in the future is that previous performance.
But money talks. Back in 2018, Cleveland lost its direct flights to Iceland. By 2022, it secured nonstop flights to Dublin thanks to a $12 million incentive package. So for now, as travelers in St. Louis get ready for nonstop flight number 2, leaders in Kansas City say they are not giving up.
Just last month had face-to-face meetings with a whole bunch of international air carriers, Europe and other markets as well.
Hoping transatlantic air travel is cleared for takeoff sooner rather than later.
Now, one thing about Kansas Cityans is we don't give up, and if you're a travel fanatic like me, it'll be exciting to see how this plays out over the years. Now, next up, when a parent sends their kid on the school bus for a day of learning, the last thing they want to do is worry about their child's safety. Now, every school bus has an extendable stop arm, but not every driver obeys it. I'll be taking it over now to KCTV5 investigates Samantha Boring for this new life-saving technology and the challenges that come with it.
5 seconds, 5 minutes that you wait is not going to kill you, but it might a child.
You've probably seen it. A car speeding past a stopped school bus like here in Gardner, Kansas, or here in Fairview, Missouri. The stop arm is out and an Amazon driver fails to obey the signs and flashing lights.
The important thing is that people just need to pay attention.
It's happened time and time again in Platte County. Here, a car drives past, but this time a Platte City police officer was there right behind the bus and pulls them over. Just one of many growing violations.
Front-facing and rear-facing.
All caught by these cameras. Platte County School District Director of Transportation J.T. Thomas says they just upgraded.
It is such a game changer.
Thomas says the first cameras used during the 2023-2024 school year led to just 7 violation letters sent to the Missouri Highway Patrol. Though this upgrade makes a difference. Since this August, that number is over 90 violations, meaning the technology is getting better, not the drivers. In Missouri, that technology plays a key role, giving law enforcement a better look at the license plate, which helps officers issue violations.
There's a button they can hit that says an incident.
It comes at a cost, anywhere from $600 up to $2,500 for one system.
It's proven well worth it. Well worth it.
If the camera quality is low, so are the chances of catching those responsible. Look at this. On the left is one of Platte County's cameras. On the right is a different camera on a Kansas City Public Schools bus. KCPS contracts with the company Zoom.
We try to pull video when we can, but some of these vehicles are going so fast. We're not even able to catch them on video.
That video is a key factor for Missouri, but in Kansas, it takes more than a camera to catch violations.
I rode along one afternoon route in Gardner for about an hour, and our cameras caught at least 7 people driving past the stop bus.
You can see these 2 cars here on a 2-way road driving past. Or here on Main Street, cars passing on both sides while the stop arm is out. But in Kansas, the law does not address the use of these cameras for traffic enforcement.
Part of it is the law needs to get leveled out first. And I am not convinced that it's there yet.
Without legal authority for the cameras, Gardner-Edgerton Superintendent Dr. Brian Huff says they work with the police department to increase patrols in hot spots.
We have that good working relationship, but we still have a lot of violations.
Gardner police reports only 2 violation letters like this have been sent to drivers this year. Back in Kansas City, the city prosecutor has filed only 8 cases in 2025. Districts say you either need police nearby or have the bus driver who's already juggling kids and traffic to try and get the license plate number.
Couldn't that be difficult for them to get that license plate?
It's incredibly difficult, and you're right. We expect them to do a whole lot.
An incredibly difficult job, but every district agrees safety can't take a back seat.
If you hit one of those kids, you'll kill them. And nobody wants to do that.
The last time Kansas lawmakers really tried to make a change to the law for camera enforcement with stop arm violations was in 2023, but nothing came of it. In Missouri, the most recent push was in 2022. Though district leaders say what's really needed is backing from local law enforcement and stronger laws to make sure that drivers pay for these violations. In Kansas City, Samantha Boring, KCTV5 investigates.
The great thing about technology is it's always advancing. I'm excited to see how they're going to be making school bus rides safer for kids everywhere. Next up on this November Special Projects Rewind, you guys, fentanyl, it's a silent killer stripping families of their loved ones and taking away lives too soon. But there's another tale to tell. KCTV5 anchor Zach Summers, he reveals the gap between the headlines and the families' battles for justice.
We've seen the news coverage.
Police seize 9 pounds of fentanyl.
Major fentanyl bust by area police.
2 people are in jail.
Alleged dealers arrested and charged.
The filing accuses Willis and Carson.
Their actions tied to deaths.
Hunter's death was a drug deal turned deadly.
Some even convicted.
Torrin Bauman changed his plea to guilty.
But for some Metro families, justice never comes.
It says, "I'm so excited, getting more and more nervous. They kick so much."
That's one of the last text messages Crystal Bethune's daughter sent before her sudden death in January.
None of it makes sense to me.
Her daughter, 21-year-old Jalen Punchin, was 26 weeks pregnant with twins. She was expecting a boy and girl.
She was excited about becoming a mother?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she was.
In the early hours of January 10th, 2025, Jalen's boyfriend found her unresponsive in their Independence home.
She's very scared in here.
Her boyfriend told police he'd gone to a nearby store, gone for about 45 minutes. When he returned, he says he found Jalen hunched over in a gaming chair and called 911.
I don't understand how they believed everything he said.
Crystal says what's in the police report only deepened her doubts. According to the report, the boyfriend gave officers a fake name. He was caught on body camera taking something from the scene, and he later hid a jacket he'd been wearing. That same report noted he had a felony warrant and was flagged for selling drugs.
I still, in my own heart, don't feel that Jalen did this to herself.
Despite initial signs of foul play, including marks on Jalen's neck and burst blood vessels, which the medical examiner on scene noted as odd, Jalen's death was ruled an accidental fentanyl overdose.
I feel like that they got the autopsy report and that there was fentanyl in her system, and it was the easiest way to close a case.
The Independence Police Department tells me they thoroughly investigated Jalen's case, but after reviewing all the evidence, detectives determined there was not enough probable cause to submit the case for potential charges. Jalen's case isn't unique. I filed public records requests in the Metro's 2 largest counties, Jackson County, Missouri, and Johnson County, Kansas, to see how many fentanyl-related deaths actually make it to prosecutors. In Jackson County, at least 628 people have died since 2022. Police sent just 17 cases to prosecutors. Charges were filed in 9. That means less than 1.5% of fentanyl deaths ever reached a courtroom. Across the state line in Johnson County, there were 144 deaths. Only 14 cases were sent to prosecutors, with charges filed in 11. Hundreds of lives lost, but no justice.
Is that a problem? Is that alarming?
I'm a little bit surprised to hear that it's that low, but I can tell you that it's understandable.
Tony Mativi is the director of the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. He says the numbers don't tell the whole story.
There's nobody that I know inside the law enforcement community who's not taking this problem seriously.
Mativi says many departments lack the necessary resources to investigate fentanyl overdoses, and oftentimes they're ruled accidents.
If you have a medical examiner rule that the death was accidental, that's a really difficult hurdle for us to get over after the fact.
He says the facts are different for every case, but with fentanyl poisonings, the deceased's phone is crucial to the investigation.
We have a constant battle when it comes to technology. The bad guy is always a step ahead of us.
And proving intent in these cases
is a high bar to clear. Jackson County Prosecutor Melissa Johnson.
The harsh reality is we cannot prosecute what we don't receive. And then once we do get a case file, again, we have to prove every single element of the applicable charge beyond a reasonable doubt.
Johnson says the other challenge is many dealers don't know what they're dealing.
They think that they're selling Percocets. They think that they're selling other pills, but they're all cut with fentanyl.
She says the burden remains high, but she's optimistic about a new Missouri law that took effect last year. It makes delivery of a controlled substance resulting in death a Class A felony.
With this new law, I do feel confident that moving forward, we will be able to see more families get a measure of justice.
In October, Prosecutor Johnson filed charges in at least 2 fentanyl death cases using that new law. Kansas has a similar statute, and families there have found accountability of their own. Families like Andy and Rhonda Burris in Lansing.
Every opportunity that we had, we kept asking, hey, it's been a couple months. Tell us where you are on the case.
Their son, 15-year-old Cruz Burris, thought he was buying a Percocet on Snapchat. Instead, the pill was laced with fentanyl and killed him.
We were at a stalemate with our local law enforcement. They did not have the mechanisms, they did not have the equipment or the skills to be able to open the phone.
Through their advocacy work with Cruz for Life, named in honor of their son, the Burrises caught the attention of local and state leaders. The Secret Service ultimately cracked Cruz's phone, leading investigators to Torrin Ballman.
We were lucky in the fact that we also had so much evidence.
Ballman was convicted and in January was sentenced to nearly 13 years in prison.
Be persistent, to talk to your community leaders, to other politicians, reach out to your senator, reach out to anyone who could help move the ball forward.
Would have been the last time I would have seen her.
10 months after her daughter's death, a baby's high chair and diapers still sit in Crystal's dining room.
I'm not sure if I'll ever put it away.
A reminder of what could have been.
Fall is our favorite season. And she should be here with us and her children, my grandchildren.
As time passes, the seasons change. Crystal watches news stories of other families who got justice, hoping one day her daughter will too.
Do more to charge the people that are selling the stuff and killing people.
Zach Summers, KCTV 5 News.
Now, the CDC says that fentanyl poisoning is the #1 leading cause of death for Americans age 45 and under. And you guys, states right here in the Midwest, they're pushing for change. One example, since November of 2023, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation has approved millions in funding to support the fight against fentanyl. Next up, of course, when you head to the DMV to get a new license or even new plates for your vehicle, you're trusting that the information you give is kept safe. But what if I told you that that data isn't as private as you think? KCTV5's Investigates, Samantha Boring, uncovers a shocking truth about who has access to your information.
You need to check in. Check your other kiosks.
It's early, you're tired, and you're in line at the DMV.
I had to be up at 5:30 this morning to get on the 6 a.m. waiting list, and then there was still a 2.5-hour wait.
An unavoidable task with an unexpected exposure.
Did you know that? No, I had no idea.
In Kansas and Missouri.
No, I did not know that at all.
The state can sell the data you give the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Oh, wow, that is really shocking, right?
And it goes to private companies.
It's kind of an invasion. And I know your eyebrows raised. Yeah, how can they get away with that?
You expect privacy when getting your license or registration here, but your information, such as your name, date of birth, or address, can quietly travel further than you might think. That's thanks to a decades-old federal law.
That's the Driver's Privacy Protection Act, or DPPA. It prevents driver information from being open to the public, but there's a catch.
It's pretty strict. It says that the data can only be used for the particular purposes, such as towing, insurance,
governments need, etc.
It also includes access for debt collections or private investigators. Nationwide, states rake in thousands selling driver and vehicle data, including yours right here in Kansas and Missouri. Here's what we found. Public records show in 2024, the Kansas Department of Motor Vehicles made a little more than $1 million selling to two companies, RL Polk, an automotive data and marketing company, and Experian, one of the three major credit bureaus. In Missouri, data was sold to more than 5,000 organizations, including banks, law groups, and assessment offices. Missouri made just over $151,000 last year.
Seems like to me, they're selling us, I hate to say that, selling us out, but it's the truth. I mean, they're selling our stuff to other people. How's that protection?
And they aren't alone. Our national investigative team found in 2024, 23 states collected at least $282 million when selling data.
The data is valuable because it can produce a model of you that can then be exploited by companies, by governments, by bad actors.
Currently, there is nothing that Kansans or Missourians can do to opt out of this. Then there's that big question. Can this be stopped?
To know, okay, I have to do this, but then I'm still like a compromising situation. It's like lose either way.
University of Kansas law professor Andrew Torrance says while there are pros and cons to people having your data, he says it's really up to the states to decide how this moves forward.
Let people opt out of giving their data, or even better, force the state or a company to have consumers opt in to providing their information.
And that choice is something we found many people want to see happen.
Give me a chance to say I want my stuff sold, which I'm not going to do that.
I want them to know that I do not like this information at all, and I am not okay with it. I'm not okay with my information out there for anybody to use for whatever reason. And they need to get in gear and protect us.
Until lawmakers act, remember this. The state requires your personal information to drive, but they're not required to keep it all private. Kansas did not provide an interview for this story and did not respond to our questions, though Missouri did reply to our questions and shared that the state does not sell driver data, but provides it to eligible entities and are reimbursed for the cost of giving that data. They tell us this has been effective since 1997. In Mission, Samantha Boring, KCTV5 investigates.
Now, it is important to note that both in Kansas and Missouri, you can file a public records request to try and see where your information has gone. You can find how to do that in this web story on the KCTV5 News app. And next up on the KCTV5 November Rewind, you guys, we're taking it to the one event right here in Kansas City that the entire metro can't wait for. It's the Plaza Lights, and whether you're there for the elaborate performances or just to hang out with your family and friends, it's something that truly brings the entire community together. KCTV5 anchor Sharon Chen, she gives us a closer look at this decades-old Kansas City staple.
A 250,000 people, same place, same time.
We come down here every year. From balconies to parking garages to rooftops.
It is a sight that people wait all year for.
One of Kansas City's oldest traditions.
If she's not driving me, I'll walk.
We all have traditions to mark the holiday season. For Kansas City families, it is this moment. When Kansas City's crown jewel, the Country Club Plaza lights sparkle and shine.
Okay, so tell me what you guys see every morning.
Every October, this beloved light show starts to take shape right in front of Susie and Don Cook.
They come with their cherry pickers and they start hanging, because they start in October.
From their plaza home, they watch as crews string miles and miles of lights.
I still couldn't believe 80 miles of lights.
15 blocks. Hundreds of thousands of bulbs adorning every dome, tower, and window of the Spanish-inspired buildings.
And what's always really fun is they'll test them ahead of time, early in the morning, and if we wake up early in the morning, we'll see them come on before anybody else.
A grand display with a humble beginning.
This is where it all began.
It all started by the work of a maintenance supervisor for the Nichols Company named Charles Pitrot. Pete, I'm told he went by.
That's Ethan Starr from historic Kansas City.
He decorated this building with a single strand of lights in 1925.
100 years ago this year, it all started with just a mere 16 bulbs over the door of the Mill Creek building.
That was the beginning of what we know as the Plaza Lights. By 1930, it was enough of a tradition that they had an opening ceremony celebration for turning on the lights.
These are from the 1930s.
The history of the lights preserved in a special collection at the Kansas City Library.
I imagine it was that Charles Pitrot who started doing all the decorations.
Sarah Beagleson, librarian and archivist.
They had candles, they had Santa Claus, they had Christmas trees. The plaza used to have other decorations, not just the lights.
During World War II, the lights went dark, but returned soon after. By 1951, the Plaza Lights became a centerpiece of Kansas City culture.
The first televised lighting ceremony was in 1955.
They've had a lot of famous dignitaries turn on the lights.
The most famous? When President Harry Truman flipped the giant switch in 1957.
I don't know if it's like a ceremonial switch or if it actually turned on these lights. To have this image is really special.
Others include Royals Hall of Famer George Brett, Walter Cronkite, and more recently, Jason Sudeikis.
This is the big spectacle in Kansas City. To return to that each and every year is a statement of how we like to celebrate together.
For the Cooks, the celebration started 58 years ago.
Honestly, this is our favorite picture. We came to Kansas City for our honeymoon, and we had no idea about it, but we were just amazed and so fascinated with it.
A legacy of light, a cherished reminder in this ever-changing world that some things remain.
Over the years, it's just been so special.
Which brings us back to those family traditions. And this one is about much more than lights.
The friends we have, the family we have, who can come.
It's the connections they create.
The Plaza lighting ceremony kicks off tomorrow night at 6:30 with live performances and music. And then right at 7:55, members of the Kansas City Current, they'll take the stage to flip that switch and the lights will stay on until January 11th. I'm Sharon Chen with KCTV 5 News.
And you might be surprised to know, you guys, back in the 1950s, a song was written about the Plaza Lights ceremony. You can find a link to that on this story on the KCTV5 website. That's about all we have for this month's special projects. Rewind, as always, you can find more content like this on the KCTV5 Plus streaming app, you guys. This has been Katie Bird. Thanks so much for joining us.